Mr. Squidward, welcome to the night shift.
Good evening, folks, and welcome into the latest installment of the MI6 Sports Network's late night sports talk show, and that is The Night Shift. This is episode 47 of The Night Shift. Isaiah Leon coming to you live from Fremont, California. Tonight, it's going to be a solo program as my two co-hosts, John Alcorn and Martin Garcia, could not be with us tonight. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have fun here on this program. I can promise you guys that. We've got a jam-packed program for you guys tonight. But before we get into tonight's program, I just want to offer up a quick reminder. If you guys haven't yet, please give our page on Facebook a like, as well as please go to our YouTube channel and press that subscribe button. We will really, really appreciate that. And also, feel free to, go into the comment section and fire in your comments and write in whatever questions that you might have for me. I will happily read it live on the air. I see we already have a ton of comments and questions from our fans out here. My guy, Shardo Gupta, he says, "Hi, Isaiah. How are you doing tonight?" Hey, Shardo, what's up? Good evening to you, man. I'm doing good. How about you? I hope you are doing great as well. Thank you for tuning in, Shardo. Also, we have Mega Dramin Fans 31 tunes in via YouTube. Hello. Really appreciate you for tuning in, Mega. Click that subscribe button if you haven't done yet. And, subscribe to the MI6 Sports Network's YouTube channel. Also, my friend Edward Lee. Edward Lee tunes in and says, "Hello, Isaiah." Edward, what's up, man? Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you. Once again, go to the MI6 Sports Network's Facebook page and give us a like, and also go to our YouTube channel and give us a subscribe. We would really, really appreciate that. But going into sports and going into our coverage for tonight, and our coverage for tonight starts in Los Angeles, as we had an NBA Finals rematch between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat from Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. And ladies and gentlemen, it's the Miami Heat getting revenge on the Los Angeles Lakers and taking them down by a final score of 96-94. Kendrick Nunn had 27 points in this game. Jimmy Butler, he had 24 points in this game. Oh, man, mind my manners. By the way, I can't believe I forgot this, but we have my guy Victor Eisenhower, who was supposed to come on with us tonight. He is here, but we are working through some technical difficulties right now, so bear with us on that. But still, we're going to have a great show. But back to our topic for tonight, the Lakers and the Heat squaring off in the Staples Center in Los Angeles, and this was a fantastic game. If it wasn't for Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder being out for the Lakers, it would have been an even better game. But still, I think that this game lived up to the hype, and it gave us a very, very exhilarating finish. But before I dive into my thoughts from this game, let me show you guys that exhilarating finish from tonight's Lakers and Heat game. The video is by our good friends at ESPN. Mike Breen, one of the best announcers in all of sports, with a great call on the final possession between the Lakers and the Miami Heat. Take a listen, everyone.
Olynyk, Nunn, Adebayo, and Butler, the remaining Heat players out there. They lob it into Butler, poked away by James, taken by Caruso. 5 seconds to go. Caruso to James. James back to Caruso, puts up a two-pointer, no good, and the Heat hold on. What a wild, frantic finish. Could have been such a costly turnover, but the Miami Heat, with a big win on the road, defeat the LA Lakers 96-94.
That was some steal by LeBron James.
That was a dangerous pass by Andre Iguodala.
But usually Jimmy Butler steals, but that's a different type of athlete with different type of anticipation. James gets it. A double team, and Caruso just misses.
So we're talking about the upper body strength of LeBron to deflect it. And he makes the right play here. Unfortunately, Caruso not able to knock it down.
So the Lakers fall short.
Yeah, what a finish indeed, man. LeBron James with a superhuman effort to tip it away from Jimmy Butler and cause the steal. And Alex Caruso gets the steal, drives it down the court, kicks it to LeBron. LeBron gets doubled, back out to Caruso. He tries a jumper. Unfortunately, he can't knock it down. And that is it for the Lakers as they fall 96-94. But my thoughts about this game. Actually, before I get into the nitty-gritty parts of this game and give you my biggest takeaways when it comes to this entire game, I want to give my thoughts on the final possession because I was really heated about that final, not the final possession itself, but the final couple of possessions by the Los Angeles Lakers. So, on the final possession, as you guys saw from that clip, Miami is trying to inbound the ball to seal the game, and LeBron James, with a superhuman effort, he gets his hand on the ball. He tips it to where Alex Caruso is standing, and Alex Caruso steals the ball. Alex Caruso then gives it to LeBron, and LeBron quickly gets doubled by Jimmy Butler and one more Heat player. And then LeBron James, listen, if I'm LeBron James in that situation, would I have tried to bulldoze my way to the basket? Because, let's face it, LeBron James, with his big athletic body, nobody can take him on when he's going full freight train mode to the basket. Would I have done it? It's tough to say in that situation, but looking back on it, I would have, because like I said, LeBron is really big, and when he's going freight train mode to the cup at full speed, just nobody can stop him, whether it's getting to the cup and laying it in, or getting to the cup and dunking it, or getting to the cup and getting fouled and still putting up a shot and trying to make it. I would have done that because I don't think anybody can stop LeBron James when he's going to the cup. But either way, it would have been a tough shot because you would have had Jimmy Butler, who's a terrific defender, going against you. And I'm pretty sure the Heat would have also sent a couple of more guys at you if you tried that. So, it's really tough to say if LeBron should have done that. Plus, I don't think there would have been that much time anyways for you to, go full freight train mode to the cup and try to get a shot off. But I have no issues with him passing to Alex Caruso because, as you guys can see, from that clip, Alex Caruso was wide open. He was wide open. And hey, like they say all the time in the NBA is a make or miss league. And Alex Caruso, he got a great look. So I'm not pissed about it, nor do I have any issues about the final possession for the Lakers. But I do have an issue with the possession before that one. So this is before, Jimmy Butler steps to the line and gets the free throws. And this is a couple possessions before the ill-fated possession by the Lakers that you saw in that clip. The possession I'm talking about is, and I'll lay it out for you guys. The Lakers, they get a miss. I believe it was by Kendrick Nunn. I might be wrong on that, but they do get a miss. Marc Gasol, he gets the rebound. He passes it to LeBron James, and then Frank Vogel calls timeout. If I'm Frank Vogel in that situation, believe it or not, I wouldn't have called timeout because you had the momentum. LeBron James going, full throttle to the basket is, like I said earlier, the hardest shot to stop. And I think LeBron, the Heat, those players were pacing back and LeBron James was going full steam ahead. I would not have called a timeout in that situation. But, hey, it is what it is. He calls a timeout. And then after that timeout, LeBron James is trying to get away from his defender, but he can't at that moment. So KCP, who has that ball at the top of the key, he passes it to Wesley Matthews, and right when Wesley Matthews gets the ball, right when Wesley Matthews catches the ball, LeBron James is able to shake off his defender. He gets free. But for some damn reason, I don't know why Wesley Matthews did this. Wesley Matthews decides to chuck up the ball with 12 seconds left in the game. He badly misses the shot. The Heat get the rebound, and Jimmy Butler goes to the line to shoot a couple of free throws and pretty much ices the game there. Wesley Matthews, what the hell are you doing there, man? I don't understand what Wesley Matthews did in that situation. You have LeBron James on your basketball team. LeBron James, four-time NBA champion, been to the finals 10 times, one of the most accomplished players in all of basketball. He is right now the best player in all of basketball, and for some damn reason, when he's about to come and get the ball, you chuck it up and you badly miss the shot, which pretty much cost the Lakers the game. That was a really stupid shot by Wesley Matthews. I don't know what Wesley Matthews did in that situation. I don't know if he was trying to play hero or not, but that was a stupid shot by Wesley Matthews, and he needs to learn from it. Next time, don't shoot it. Pass it to LeBron James, who is right there about to go and get the ball. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I have an issue also with Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel, he calls a timeout, and my issue is this. What are you doing in that timeout, drawing up a play for either KCP or Wesley Matthews or even Alex Caruso? Those guys are very inconsistent and ineffective when shooting the ball on offense. They're good on defense, but they're not good offensive players. I don't understand why Frank Vogel in that moment didn't draw up a play for Kyle Kuzma, who was the Lakers' best offensive player of the night. Kyle Kuzma was red hot in that game. He finished the game with 22 points. He was red hot. I don't understand why the play that you draw up has Kyle Kuzma, your best offensive player of the night, standing in the left corner away from the action, just standing there and watching. It makes no sense whatsoever. I would have preferred, the Lakers get some ball movement on that play because there was about, I think, 24 seconds, or no, not 24 seconds. There were like 20 seconds left. The shot clock and game clock the difference between those two was, I believe, 2 seconds. And what I really hope the Lakers would have done was LeBron James would, get the ball and just, use up all the time. And then the Lakers would run that final play. And if you miss the shot, fine. You still have one more timeout left. And you can either, if you miss it, foul, hope the Miami Heat make only one of 2 free throws. And then, you can use that final timeout and get a better shot. But I thought that possession before the final possession for the Lakers, I thought it was really stupid by the Lakers. I don't know what on earth the Lakers were doing in that situation. And, I think that's what really cost them the game. The really bad play calling and just not being able to hit shots all night long is what ultimately cost the Lakers the game. And you saw that in the final 2 possessions of that game. But Folks, let me say this. I talked about the final possession. Now I'm going to talk about the game as a whole. This game, my biggest takeaways from this game were that there were really no new things for me to be alarmed at about the Lakers' play. Because everything that I've been saying, everything that I've been worried about the Lakers came up again. It was the same old, same old. You know, I had been chirping, whether it's on Wild Sports Talk, whether it was on No BS, whether it was on whatever programs that we have here on the MI6 Sports Network, when we talk about the Lakers, you know, I've been saying this over and over and over again. And that was the Lakers' perimeter defense has been their biggest weakness this season. It was their biggest weakness last season, and it's still their biggest weakness. And last season, the Lakers, their perimeter defense was already bend, don't break style of a defense. It's gotten even worse as Avery Bradley, who was their best perimeter defender, he's now in Miami. So your perimeter defense, which was already bad, got even worse. So that's not good for the Lakers. And you saw that tonight. You know, the Miami Heat, their perimeter players killed the Lakers tonight. Kendrick Nunn, the guy who disappeared in the finals. I mean, he went MIA in the finals. He absolutely killed the Lakers tonight. He had 27 points. He was red hot from three. He was great from the mid-range. He was just spectacular tonight for the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler as well. He had 24 points. He absolutely killed the Lakers as well from the perimeter. The Lakers, like I've been saying for the past 2-3 weeks, they need to get better perimeter defenders come trade deadline and in the buyout market if the Lakers want to win a championship this season. Because, listen, right now you're not in the East. No. You're in the Western Conference, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have teams like Portland, Phoenix, the Clippers, Utah. You have teams in the West. Every single team in the West has at least like 2 or 3 great perimeter players that can burn you at any given night, whether it's Phoenix with Devin Booker and Chris Paul, or Portland with CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard, or, the Jazz with Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, and even the Clippers with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And, if you think the Western Conference is the only place that can give the Lakers nightmares on the perimeter, you're wrong. Because if the Lakers were to meet the Brooklyn Nets in the finals, which is what everybody is projecting right now, the Lakers, they're going to be in trouble. Because who's going to be able to stop? Like, I know you have LeBron, you have Anthony Davis, who can do a lot of damage in the post, and they can play bully ball. Great. But the Lakers right now, who's going to stop James Harden? Who is stopping Kyrie Irving on the perimeter? Are you really going to put Caruso on them? No. Are you putting Kuzma on them? Hell no, you're not putting Kuzma on them. You are probably going to have to put either, LeBron, KCP, he's been inconsistent on defense this season. Wesley Matthews, he hasn't played that much. I don't trust the Lakers' perimeter defense in the playoff. The Lakers, they need to get another or a couple of perimeter defenders, whether it's trade deadline or buyout market. You need to improve that perimeter defense, because even if you have Anthony Davis and he comes back, you're still going to get killed on the perimeter when you're facing those top teams that I just named for you guys. And I heard there was a report today that PJ Tucker, the Lakers, I believe, the Lakers, there was a report that PJ Tucker, they're interested in potentially trading for him. And I think that is a great idea, because like what we've been saying, PJ Tucker, he's a tenacious defender on the perimeter, and I believe that he would help the Lakers greatly in that department. And I really hope that Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office, they decide to make that move, if the Rockets are really indeed trying to tank and trying to get rid of all their veteran players, because I really believe PJ Tucker, if the Lakers can land him, he would be a fabulous get for the Lakers. And the second biggest takeaway that I have from this game is, once again, the Lakers, I don't know what it is about the Lakers, but they just keep getting off to a really horrendous start. It seems like, that's the case every single game this season, where the Lakers spot the opponent like a 10 to 15 point lead in the first quarter, and then they have to try to dig themselves out of that hole and get back into the game. It's not going to affect, the Lakers can keep doing this right now. It's not going to affect them because they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to probably get a top 4 seed in the West. They're just too talented. But we're looking ahead to the playoffs. The Lakers need to fix that for the postseason because, as you guys know, the postseason, the intensity gets up a couple of notches. You can't, find yourself down 10 or 15 or even 20 points after the first quarter each game and expect you to be able to successfully dig yourself out of it and come back and win those games, even if you have LeBron and Anthony Davis. It doesn't matter that you have those two. It's going to take too much energy out of your system. You're going to be, sluggish afterwards, and you're going to be really tired from having to do that, and you're going to end up losing series if you continue to go down this path. So the Lakers, they got to get this fixed. Right now, we're trying to build championship winning habits that are going to be useful for the playoffs. So they got to get it fixed if the Lakers want to win a championship, because like I said, you're not beating Brooklyn if you guys meet in the finals and you get down 10, 15, 20 points each game. You just won't. Brooklyn is too talented for you to fall behind like that each and every game and for you to be able to dig yourself out of that hole and come back. You won't be able to do that. So the Lakers, they got to get that fixed right now. Going into our comment section for the night. Man, we're still having technical issues on Victor's side. Hopefully we can get it resolved soon because I really want to talk to my guy about it. But going into our, going into our comment section, Edward Lee with an interesting comment. Anthony Davis will not be in the 2021 finals. I'm thinking that he means the Lakers won't be in the 2021 finals. Edward, I'm really interested to see who you think will beat the Lakers if they do if they do lose in the Western Conference playoffs, because I think that this team is just too stacked, and I do not believe there's any team right now in the West that can stop the Los Angeles Lakers. But give me your thoughts, guys. What were your biggest takeaways from tonight's Lakers Heat game? What do you guys think the Lakers need to fix? And also, are you guys feeling more confident that the Miami Heat can, get their act together and make the playoffs after a horrendous start to the season? But moving on to our second topic of the night, and this was one hell of a game in Charlotte, North Carolina. You have the Golden State Warriors facing off with the Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo Ball's revenge game against the team that passed on him in the NBA draft. There were a lot of storylines from this game. It started early before the game. It was during the game, and then you had a frantic finish late in that game. But man, I don't even know where to start, ladies and gentlemen. But you had Steph Curry get scratched before the game. He was feeling ill before the game. He got scratched. He did not play. He went with a team doctor to the locker room, hoping and praying that Steph Curry will be fine. And then in the game, the Charlotte Hornets, my gosh. The Charlotte Hornets, they committed 25 25 turnovers in this game. Yes, that's right. I said that. The Charlotte Hornets committed 25 turnovers. And let me tell you, folks, you're not going to win a game in the NBA by committing 25 turnovers. I mean, that's very, very rare that you win a game by committing that many turnovers. But hey, the Charlotte Hornets, they did that. They committed 25 turnovers, and they somehow, some way won this game. I don't know how, but they did. And in this game, Draymond Green got ejected from this game with Golden State leading 100-98 and 9 seconds left in the ball game. I mean, this was just crazy. We have that clip right now in our archive section. This clip is brought to you by our great friends with the Charlotte Hornets.
Loose. Gordon's got it. Hits the deck. And a timeout. Hornets get a timeout. Hornets have the basketball. Oh, did they give him a timeout? I'll tell you, Draymond Green better be careful.
Yeah.
He better be careful. The Hornets got the timeout, and Draymond Green almost got a technical. Uh-oh. Did he?
Now
He
he got
did!
it.
And he's gone! That means he's got 2! Oh, my goodness! Oh, my goodness. So Draymond Green ejected with 9.3 remaining.
Unfreaking believable. But that wasn't all, ladies and gentlemen. After Draymond Green gets ejected, the Charlotte Hornets hits a couple of free throws, and then that ties the game at 100, and the Warriors, they can't get anything going. What ends up happening is Terry Rozier, former Boston Celtic, with a game-winning jumper at the buzzer to give the Charlotte Hornets a stunning win over the Golden State Warriors. 102-100 was the final score. But folks, let me break everything down. And you're going to have to bear with me because this is going to take a long, long time to get through. All right, let's start with Steph Curry. Steph Curry, I don't know what happened. They said that he's feeling ill. I'm wishing him nothing but the best. I hope that, it's not it doesn't have anything to do with COVID because, Stephen Curry is one of the biggest superstars in the NBA. And if he has to go out with COVID, I feel for him. I feel for his family. And I feel for, the Warriors because, first of all, you never want to see anyone get COVID. His family, like if he gets it, he has a couple of young daughters and a young baby son, and you don't want any of those young kids getting COVID. And for the Warriors, I feel bad for them because the Warriors desperately need Stephen Curry. I mean, me and Furman talked about this in depth last night. Without Stephen Curry, the Warriors are one of the worst basketball teams in the NBA. I mean, they desperately need Stephen Curry in the starting lineup. If Stephen Curry, you already seen, if Stephen Curry doesn't play, good basketball, if he doesn't go off, the Warriors are going to lose like 90 or 99 to 100% of that time. That's how bad of a basketball team that the Golden State Warriors are, and they desperately need Stephen Curry. So I feel awful for Curry. I hope that he's fine, wishing him nothing but the best and praying that Stephen Curry does not have COVID and it's just like a minor illness. But before I get to the Draymond ejection, let me say something about this game. First of all, my biggest takeaways from this game is that I think that the Charlotte Hornets are they could be the Atlanta Hawks from last season. You know, everybody was like, oh my gosh, the Atlanta Hawks, they were such a fun team to watch. You know, they are so young, they're so energetic, they're led by a lot of young players like LaMelo Ball, you know, Miles Bridges, Ball and Bridges. They have such a good connection going. PJ Washington, you can't even forget about him. They have a young core, and it's supplemented by veteran players like Gordon Hayward and Cody Zeller and guys that have been there, done it. I love the Charlotte Hornets. I love what I'm watching from the Hornets. They're such a fun team to watch. They are going to be, you know, a threat in the East. Not to, you know, win the East, but to make the playoffs year in and year out in the East for years to come. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs this year, but they're definitely going to be a pest in other teams' side. But they are such a fun team to watch. Their style of play that they play is just so fun to watch. You know, the ball movement, you know, pace and space. I mean, I love to watch the Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo Ball is just bringing much must-watch TV to Charlotte, and he's a guy that I love watch. I mean, his passes that he was making tonight, even though he didn't have a great game scoring the basketball-wise, but he made contributions in different areas like rebounding and passing the ball. I mean, he made a couple of passes tonight that were just like, that makes you go like, wow, did he really do that? This dude is just really special. I truly believe, like I said last night, I truly believe that LaMelo Ball will be the face of the NBA in about 6 years. But besides the LaMelo Ball, you know, Hornets, they got to fix the turnover issues because the Charlotte Hornets right now are one of the most turnover-prone teams in the NBA. I believe they are in the top of the leaderboard in terms of turning the ball over. That's never good. You got to fix that, because if you want to play winning basketball and you want to go to the playoffs and and get into the playoff chase, you got to stop turning the ball over. You're not going to win games when you're turning the ball over like 20 to 25 times a game. I mean, yeah, you're just not. So got to fix the turnovers. But to going to Draymond Green's ejection, let's take one more look at Draymond Green's ejection, and you know, I'll break it down after we see that video.
Loose. Gordon's got it. Hits the deck. And a timeout. Hornets get a timeout. Hornets have the basketball. Oh, did they give him a timeout? I'll tell you, Draymond Green better be careful.
Yeah.
He better be careful. The Hornets got the timeout, and Draymond Green almost got a technical. Uh-oh. Did he?
Now
He
he got
did!
it.
And he's gone! That means he's got two! Oh, my goodness! Oh, my goodness. So Draymond Green ejected with 9.3 remaining.
All right. First of all, let me say this. That was a terrible ejection by that referee. I mean, the referee that made that call on that ejection, he needs to be fired. That you don't do that, man. There's 9 seconds left in the ball game. The Hornets are down by 2. It is the pinnacle of that game. I mean, it's the pinnacle of that game. You just don't do that. You let the players play. The ref was way too sensitive in that standpoint. It was an awful ejection. Did Draymond deserve to be ejected and given technicals? No. I mean, he thought that when, you know, LaMelo Ball tips it on the jump ball, right? He tips the ball, and Gordon Hayward and Draymond Green are going to the floor tussling for the ball. He thought that he got the ball. And looking at that clip, I thought that he got the ball. I thought he had the ball, and that Gordon Hayward was just, you know, trying to wrestle it out of Draymond Green's hand. I really thought that the Warriors had possession of that basketball. And for the refs to give that timeout, that's just baloney, man. Come on, dude. That's so stupid. The Warriors had possession. Green had the ball. Hayward was just trying to get it out of Draymond Green's hands. And not only do you blow that call, but you give the Hornets a timeout, and then you throw Draymond Green out for your own mistake, and to throw him out at that point in that game when it's a 2-point game with 9 seconds left, it's just absolutely ridiculous. The refs these days are just way too sensitive. I mean, you can't even when they're wrong, you can't even argue with them because they'll throw you out. It's like the refs are like dictators. If you don't agree with them and you try to argue with them, well, goodbye. See you next game because you're going to get thrown out. It's either my way or the highway when it comes to these officials, and it's just getting pathetic because this isn't the first time that this what we saw tonight has happened in the NBA. I mean, we've seen it time and time again for the last 5 years. The referees have just been getting really soft the last 5 years, and they got to clean it up because that is what is really turning fans off right now. It's because of just piss-poor ejections from the referees and piss-poor calls. But Ishmael Lancaster tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in, Ishmael. He says that was a stupid ejection. And Ishmael says, I agree, Isaiah. The Hornets are very, very fun to watch. But going into our final NBA game for the night, and it comes in the desert as the Phoenix, or it comes in Memphis, Tennessee, as the Phoenix Suns destroy the Memphis Grizzlies by the final score of 128-97. And folks, let me tell you guys this. The Phoenix Suns are scary. The Phoenix Suns are very, very scary. I've been trying to tell people this for the last year or so, but the Phoenix Suns are for real. If you're not buying the Phoenix Suns right now and you think they're a fluke, I suggest that you go and ask your friend to slap you in the face and snap you back into reality because you need to start buying into the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns are for real, ladies and gentlemen. The Phoenix Suns tonight, they beat the Grizzlies, who aren't that bad of a team. I mean, Memphis right now is 13-13. They're on the cusp, or they're at 500 right now. The Grizzlies last year were one of the most entertaining teams in all of basketball. They fought to the very end. Unfortunately, they missed the playoffs because, they lost a couple of games that they should have won in the bubble, and it cost them. But still, I mean, I thought that this game was going to be one of the entertaining games of the night. I thought that the Suns and the Grizzlies, it would be close and would go down to the end just like the Warriors and Hornets. But boy, was I wrong. I mean, Phoenix opened a 25-point lead on the Grizzlies. It was 30 at one point in that game. The Suns were just red hot from three-point line. They hit a franchise record, I believe, 26 threes in this game. And if you look at the box score, you would think that it was Devin Booker and Chris Paul and maybe DeAndre Ayton doing everything. But no, Mikal Bridges, 19 points in 28 minutes of play, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. He was red hot in this game. Devin Booker doing his thing, 23 points in 26 minutes of play, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Chris Paul, 16 points, 6 assists, 22 minutes of play. Cameron Payne chipped in 19 points, 7 assists, 2 rebounds in 26 minutes of play. Dario Saric, 19 points in 19 minutes of play. I mean, the Suns just got contributions from all across the board. Everybody on this roster contributed to this big night from the Phoenix Suns. And, this was, I believe, more about the Suns' dominance than the Grizzlies struggling, because the Suns, they just went off from 3. I mean, they hit 26 threes. You're not going to beat a team when a team is going hot like that from downtown. You just hope to contain them and hope to match them. But if you can't, then you're going to lose most of the time. But it was really shocking what the Suns just did. The Suns are for real. I've thought that the Suns are for real, but there has been some thought in my mind that, hey, are the Suns really that good? Like, I get they're going to make the playoffs, but are they really a top 4 team in the Western Conference? But they've been proving me wrong thus far. And good for the Phoenix Suns. I mean, good for Monty Williams. He's done a fabulous job with that Suns team, and I will be shocked if the Suns make the playoff, if they get the 4th seed and Monty Williams does not win Coach of the Year. That will be an absolute atrocity if that happens. But give me your thoughts, guys, on the Suns. Give me your thoughts on the Hornets and whether they're really fun to watch, and what you guys thought about the Draymond ejection. I really want to hear your guys' thoughts. But going into our headlines for tonight, and we start in the NBA where DeMarcus Cousins, a stunning news that came out of the NBA tonight, folks. DeMarcus Cousins and the Rockets are parting ways in the coming days. The Rockets reportedly are going to go young and more small in the front court, with Christian Wood taking over for DeMarcus Cousins in the front court, as Cousins is expected to be either released or traded in the next couple of days. But I don't think he's going to be traded. I think he's going to be released, because I don't think anybody with what he's making right now, and even though I know it's a 1-year contract, with his production, it's just not been that good right now. But DeMarcus Cousins, I feel bad for the guy. I mean, the guy a couple of seasons ago, he was supposed to be in line to make over $200 million on his next contract, obviously towards Achilles, and then tried to come back with the Warriors on a 1-year, $5 million contract, then got hurt again, played pretty good, then got hurt. And then with the Lakers, tore his ACL before the season even started, and then took a 1-year contract with the Rockets, was playing really solid basketball, and then this happened. So DeMarcus Cousins, I mean, the guy just can't catch a break. I feel really bad for that guy, but my reaction to this is I'm not really surprised, because the Rockets are not a good team. James Harden's gone, Westbrook's gone, all of their top players are gone. PJ Tucker might be the next one to go after Cousins. The Rockets are just not a good basketball team, and right now, the Rockets, I believe they're in 11th place in the West. They're not going to make the playoffs. Even if they do somehow sneak in as the 8th seed, they're going to get swept by either the Lakers or the Clippers or even the Jazz. So it makes sense for the Rockets to go young and tank and try to get a top pick in the upcoming NBA draft. It makes sense that they're doing this now, to letting Cousins go so he can find, a suitor and find a spot or find a team that he can hop on and contend with. It makes sense for both sides, and I really do hope Cousins latches on with a contender, because he deserves to be going to compete for winning basketball right now instead of being stuck in Houston. But when you look at DeMarcus Cousins, he signed a 1-year, $2.56 million contract. Not that big of a contract. The guy's he appeared in 25 games, making 11 starts, averaging 9.6 points per game, 7.6 rebounds, while shooting just 37.6 from the field. The guy is obviously not what he once was. And if you look at the defense, with Cousins defending, opponents are shooting an incredible 63% on shots against Cousins. So Cousins is a horrific defender. Cousins has now become a terrible offensive player. It's just really sad to see that, his athleticism and the formative Marcus Cousins has just been taken away from us because of all these grueling and terrible injuries. But like I said, I hope that Cousins does latch on to a winning ball club. I think that some teams that could consider DeMarcus Cousins, obviously the Lakers come to mind, the Nets. The Lakers make sense because he was with the Lakers last season. He didn't play, but he was still there. I think he got a championship ring, and he knows Anthony Davis well, knows LeBron well. So, and the Lakers need help in the front court now that AD is out for the next month or two, and most likely might not be brought back until the final month of the regular season. So the Lakers, it makes a lot of sense for Cousins to go there. Plus, he will be able to get the start as well. But the big question now is, if I'm the Lakers, would I want to sign DeMarcus Cousins, who's only averaging like 9 points a game, or would I rather sign Blake Griffin? These two guys are not what they once were, but I'm leaning towards Blake, because I still think that even though Blake is not what he once was, Blake is still a better shooter. Blake is still a guy that has a little bit more athleticism than DeMarcus Cousins, a little bit more mobility than DeMarcus Cousins, and I think he would be a better addition for the Los Angeles Lakers than DeMarcus Cousins. But hey, the Lakers, I think it's, pick and choose who you want, because whoever you sign, they're not really going to be making that much of an impact come postseason time. You just need them right now until Anthony Davis comes back. But I would prefer Blake Griffin over DeMarcus Cousins. Andre Drummond, I don't believe he's an option, because I heard that the Cavaliers are trying their best to trade him. And, there's a couple of teams that have a lot of interest in trying to trade for him. Raptors are one, Celtics are one, even Brooklyn might be one. Also, Brooklyn, I think, will be first in line to try to get him, whether it's in the buyout market. So I don't see Drummond as an option for the Lakers. I think it's going to be Griffin or Cousins, and I would much rather prefer Griffin than DeMarcus Cousins if I'm the Lakers. But, another couple of teams to look out for, potentially for Cousins, Boston, because, they need bigs, and Tristan Thompson's not really getting it done right now. Celtics, very undersized. Cousins would be a big upgrade for the Celtics in that department. And then you look at Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn would make sense. Cousins did play with KD, has a relationship with KD, so that would make sense for both parties. So I would go with Lakers, Celtics, and Nets for Boogie Cousins once he does get released. I've also heard about the Warriors. I don't think that's a, reasonable option. And the reason being is because I just think that the Warriors, they're not in the Lakers, Nets, or Celtics position where they are right now able to compete for a championship. I think the Warriors, they are a fringe playoff team right now at the moment, and Cousins going there really won't make that much of an impact for the Warriors. I think he going to Brooklyn or going to LA or going to Boston, where he would make more of an impact there than he would in Golden State. But, give me your guys' thoughts. Where do you guys think Boogie Cousins goes now that the Rockets are going to part ways with him in the coming days? And what is your reaction to the news that Boogie Cousins and the Houston Rockets are in fact parting ways? I want to hear what you guys have to say about that. But going into our final topic of the night before we get to tonight's game balls, and that is the Australian Open. We're going to talk some tennis, y'all. I know we don't really talk much tennis here on the show, but hey, we're going to talk tennis because right now, that is the biggest story going on in the sports world. And the Australian Open, the women's side of things, finished yesterday as Naomi Osaka defeated Jennifer Brady, I believe that's her name. I might be wrong on that, but Naomi Osaka defeats Brady to win the Australian Open by a final score of 6-4, 6-3 in straight sets. It's Jennifer Brady. That is her name, but 6-4, 6-3, Naomi Osaka with the win over Jennifer Brady. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you guys this. Naomi Osaka is scary. Naomi Osaka is very, very scary. She really is. I stayed up last night and I watched that match from the beginning all the way to the end, and Naomi Osaka was in complete control of that match. I mean, she was just dominant from the get-go. You look at the box score, Naomi Osaka had 6 aces. Jennifer Brady had 2. Jennifer Brady made, really costly mistakes, 4 double faults. You can't make like those type of mistakes when you're facing Naomi Osaka, who's one of the best tennis players that tennis has to offer. Naomi Osaka posted a 73% win percentage on her first serve compared to 62 for Jennifer Brady. Naomi Osaka also 58% on win percentage on second serve compared to Jennifer Brady's 48%. And then break points, Naomi Osaka had 4 out of 5. Jennifer Brady had 2 out of 4. And then look at the receiving points won. Naomi Osaka 29 receiving points won, while Jennifer Brady had 23. And then in terms of points won, Naomi Osaka 69, Jennifer Brady 54. And games won, Naomi Osaka 12, Jennifer Brady at 7. Naomi Osaka is just a beast. You have to play a perfect match in order to beat Naomi Osaka. This really might be really outlandish, and it really might be asinine, and really might be one of the dumbest things I've ever said here on the network. But folks, I believe that Naomi Osaka is like Patrick Mahomes right now in the NFL compared to Serena Williams' Tom Brady. And what I mean by that is Serena Williams, she is the OG of women's tennis. I mean, she has all these championships that she's won. I believe she's won 23 Grand Slam match or Grand Slam titles. I mean, that's just really incredible. And she's the GOAT of women's tennis, just like Tom Brady is, the GOAT of the NFL. But Naomi Osaka, just like Patrick Mahomes, is this young, fearless, budding star that is super talented and has shown dominance throughout her young career thus far, just like Mahomes has. And, she has won championships just like Mahomes had when Mahomes won the Super Bowl last year. And I believe that Naomi Osaka, she is coming for Serena Williams' title as the greatest of all time of women's tennis. I think that even though she has a long way to go right now, because Naomi Osaka has 2 championships, while Serena, or 2 or 3 championships, while Serena Williams has 23. Naomi Osaka, given that Serena, I think right now is on the downfall of her career, I think that Naomi Osaka could eventually catch Serena and eclipse her as the GOAT of women's tennis when all is said and done. That's just how great of a tennis player that Naomi Osaka is. Naomi Osaka right now is just 23 years of age. She has a long way to go, but I think that she will be able to get it done and catch Serena and eclipse Serena. Congratulations to Naomi Osaka. It was an outstanding match by her, and I really hope that Naomi Osaka continues to be or continues to dominate in her respective sport. But going into a comment section, we do have a couple of comments from my guys, Shardo Gupta and Edward Lee. Shardo is asking me, what do you think? Should the Pelicans should trade Lonzo Ball to the Warriors? Shardo, that's tough because I think Lonzo Ball would actually be a good fit for the Warriors. But I've heard the Pelicans want a hefty package for Lonzo Ball, considering that they gave up Anthony Davis to get Lonzo Ball. So I think that they don't want to give up on Lonzo Ball just yet. Lonzo Ball, he would be good for the Warriors, but I don't know if the Warriors would want to pay that hefty price to get a bench player, which Lonzo Ball most likely would be. Also, Shardo says Naomi Osaka is a female version of Stephen Curry of the basketball court, and she was absolutely in control in that tennis match over Jennifer Brady. I like that comparison a lot, Shardo. I think that, you can say that Naomi Osaka, if you're comparing her to an NBA star, Stephen Curry, I think would be the one for you to compare her to. But I'm just going to go with the Mahomes-Brady comparison, because I just think that's more applicable in this argument or in this debate. But ladies and gentlemen, you guys know every Saturday on the night shift, we always do this here on the show, and that is Game Balls. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen. It is Game Balls time here on the night shift. All right, guys, it is Game Balls time, and if you guys don't know how Game Balls work here on the night shift, Game Balls is, every week, we give out one game ball to an athlete of, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, arena football, golf, tennis, whatever. You recognize either a team or an athlete or an executive or a coach for their great efforts and great performance for this week. My guy Shardul Gupta, with his game ball, he says, I am giving my game ball to Stephen Curry and Patrick Mahomes. Indeed, I don't know about Patrick Mahomes because he didn't really he hasn't played, obviously, since the Super Bowl. There was no game this week. But Stephen Curry, I understand why he is giving that game ball. But ladies and gentlemen, for my game ball tonight, the guy that I am going to be giving my game ball out to is Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, guard for the Chicago Bulls. This guy has absolutely broken out this season. I mean, if you look at what he's been putting up his last 3 games against the Kings, he put up 38 points in 36 minutes of play, 15 of 20 from the field shooting wise, 3 of 6 from three-point land, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. I mean, the guy was just all over the place. And then against the mighty 76ers, 30 points, 38 minutes of play, 9 for 28 from the field, 2 for 10 from 3, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And then against the Detroit Pistons, 37 points, 14 of 22 from the field, 4 for 6. Zach LaVine has been outstanding this week. He's put up 30 points, I believe, in every single game he's played this week. I'm reading a stat right now. Zach LaVine is averaging 31 points in his last 10 games. He's the only Bulls player since Michael Jordan to average 30 points per game over a 10-game span. Zach LaVine has absolutely been balling out. This guy needs to get serious consideration, and he needs to be voted in to the All-Star game because he's just been balling out. He's been playing unbelievable this season. And if the Bulls could just give him some help, it would be great. But Zach LaVine, my game ball goes to you for this week. What an outstanding performance that you put on this week. All right. So, guys, it's been a great program. We are about an hour into the night shift. It is time to wrap up the show for tonight and call it a night. It is time for tonight's final thoughts. All right, we are about 26 seconds away from being an hour into this show, and it is time to wrap it up and call it a night. And before I get into my final thoughts, I want to thank Shardul Gupta, Edward Lee, as well as Ishmael Lancaster and Mega Dragon fans for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys for staying up late with us and tuning in and sharing this video. And, also want to thank Stephen Wegg. Can't forget about him. He shared this video everywhere tonight. That's why he is Shareable Steve. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been an outstanding episode. Really appreciate you guys for, tuning in, staying up late, tuning in and giving us so much love and support. Really appreciate it. My final thoughts for tonight's show is we had such an outstanding night of NBA basketball, college basketball. We got that marquee game tomorrow. Everybody mark that down on your calendar right now. We've got a marquee top 5 showdown between Ohio State and Michigan that's going to go down in Columbus. I am so hyped for that game. I cannot wait for that game tomorrow. Game starts at 10 a.m. p.m. Or a.m. Pacific time here on the West Coast. It is going to be the game of the year in college basketball, but I can't wait. Number 3, Michigan at number 4, Ohio State. It's going to be such a fun game. And afterwards, I believe me and Stephen Wang, no matter who wins and who loses, we are going to come on here and do a post-game show to recap the action tomorrow night. But ladies and gentlemen, watch that game tomorrow. You don't want to miss that. Unfortunately, my guy Victor Eisenhower tonight, who desperately wanted to come on the show, he couldn't make it tonight. He just had lots of technical issues. But a couple of comments before we sign off for the night. Shardul Gupta, I really love tuning into the show and hearing all the different sports takes, and I will keep on watching as many shows as I can. Really appreciate you, Shardul. Man, you are like one of our top fans here of the network. And also, Shardul says, Michigan will beat Ohio State tomorrow. I hope so, Shardul. I really do, because I do have a lot on the line on tomorrow's game. And then Shardul says, #go Wolves. But anyways, guys, it's been a great episode of The Night Shift. Really appreciate all of you guys for staying up late and tuning in to the show. I wish you guys a great rest of your Saturday. And also, I wish you guys great health and peace and prosperity as you guys move forward with your night and your week. And ladies and gentlemen, like I always say, stay healthy, stay safe, and we will see you guys back on here tomorrow night for another week of programming here on the MI6 Sports Network, as well as another episode of The Night Shift. Have a good night, everybody.